So welcome to ARC, the Australian Resource Centre. This video is about our community cluster. ARC is a resource network. Originally, focus was business, to help business owners grow and connect them to resources and solutions and service providers that they needed, all backed up by resource facilitators that do all the networking and legwork and bringing people together and organising resources for business owners. But it soon became obvious that they needed solutions right across the board, not just in business. I was watching a feminist talk one afternoon on the ABC, and one thing she said that impacted me was that we don't live in an economy, we live in a society. Economy is just part of that, and that's the business cluster. So I had to find a way how to structure things so things were separate but intertwined and work together. And so clusters was the way I did that. So there are 16 planned clusters from the business cluster through to the community cluster, which I'm talking about today, youth cluster, investment cluster, etc. So the reason for the community cluster is in there, we can do community projects. That could be not-for-profits, charities, local issues, people that are trying to get local programs up and running. So the idea that they're not for profit, they're not making money. They need resources. They need people to support them. They need sponsors. They need income so they can focus on what they're doing in the community. And that's their passion. Other people's passion is business. So the idea of the clusters is that I can now connect up the business cluster to the community cluster and start supporting those local projects. So through building the network and the facilitators, the community projects can reach out and say, "Hey, I need this. I need 10 grand for this project, or I need people with this speciality and skills." And there are people in the business cluster that have a passion to help local communities. So by helping people in the business cluster get out from underneath all the business of their business and get their business creating profits, wealth, resources, so they do have the time and money to help community issues. So we need to know about these community not-for-profits. We need to know what you're doing, how you're doing it, what do you need? We need to build those relationships. And that's where I come in as an Australian Resource Centre resource facilitator, that I can then connect these community programs to the business cluster and start flowing resources into these programs. So the way we do that, we'll be promoting your foundations or not-for-profits on our site. We'll be running programs. We'll be promoting them in our marketing and educating. That's the big thing, is educating our business owners on what opportunities there are. So that's basically everything in a nutshell, how the nuts and bolts and cogs things work. We can talk about when we have a meeting. But ARC is all about building community, and business isn't the sole thing in a society. As that lady said, we don't live in an economy. We live in a society, and that all needs to be structured. Things are changing fast and hard, and unless people work together, work in unison, we're going to be left behind, and things are just going to get tougher. So that's it in a nutshell. Below you'll find my Calendly link, my LinkedIn link, which you can connect with me, communicate with me, and we can work together. So I hope you've gotten something out of this video. Get in contact. Let's talk about how we can make this work.